Hey everybody, welcome to Asking for a Friend UG Chick Edition. This I know last time on our on the 7th episode we did say it was our last one, but this is going to be part of our mini series, and excuse me, we just felt like there was a conversation that we needed to have with everything that's going on in the world right now. And so we decided to kind of make an impromptu, let's meet up and
discuss
it.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
So, of course, I got my co-hosts, Aisha.
Hey, guys.
And Sophie of Sophie's Closet.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
And then me, Samantha, and we have Richard, our producer, as well. Yeah, so, I mean, this is going to be a bit heavy, but I think it's really important to talk about. But anyway, let's go ahead and start the show.
All right.
This episode is sponsored by Tukole. We decided that we were going to put forth an episode that really centers on community and who we are as people, and basically trying to figure out how we can live harmoniously with the situation that we're all in. And let's go ahead.
Let's do it. Okay, so this week, I think the last time actually we recorded, we were talking about Ahmaud Arbery and how he passed away and what his case was about. So if you don't remember that, he was a black man that was just jogging through this neighborhood, and then these three vigilantes
Yes.
decided to hunt him down and pretty much just kill him in broad daylight, in cold blood. And the only thing he did was just be black. So, and unfortunately, we're back here again. There's been a couple more things that have happened since Ahmaud Arbery. There's been Breonna Taylor. She also passed away because the police just bursted into her apartment with a no-knock warrant.
And they're at the wrong address.
And they had the wrong address. And the person that they were looking for was already in custody. So they...
She just had to be black.
Yeah.
The person they were looking for was already in custody.
Already.
So what?
And they had a wrong address at that.
Oh, so just poor communication? Like why were they in that? Where were they?
We're still trying to figure out why that happened.
Yeah. Right.
So yes, so they got in, shot all over the place. Her boyfriend started to shoot back because he thought they were being robbed. In the process of all of that, she passed away, and then he was taken to jail. His charges were dropped. What were you going to charge him for? Assault?
Right.
It's weird.
Attempted murder.
Attempted murder.
Can you
Of
imagine?
the cops?
Of the cops.
Yeah.
That's so wild. Oh, because one of them but nobody died. But you're the ones who... Anyway.
You killed someone.
Shot someone 8 times, yeah.
So now we're here again with George Floyd.
That was tough.
George Floyd was buying something from a corner store. And see, this is the little part that they're not really clearing up. Yes, it was in Minneapolis. But so the first time when the news came out, it said that the employee that called the police thought that George Floyd was using a
counterfeit $20.
At first, it was a check.
Yeah, they said basically the call-in was a forgery in progress.
Yeah.
So maybe people thought like that was a check, but
I think it was
They
a
said it was
$20
cash.
bill.
Yeah, then they said it was a
$20.
$20 bill.
But what trips me out is the fact that they called the cops. Okay, he bought his stuff, right? You just think about it at the grocery store, you buy something. Then you leave the grocery store.
And they called.
They call the cops. The cops show up and he's still on the premises. Like he hasn't left. Like it's not like he was running.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
Probably
they pull
he didn't
him
even
out.
know that it was a fake $20 bill.
Even then they said that they were not sure if it was like fake or like they looked at it and it looked fake. So
why
that's
did
when
they...
I mean...
No,
to give the benefit of the doubt, that is standard. Like if you get a forgery, you're supposed to call the police. I don't know if it's supposed to call 911 though. I think it's supposed to call the non-emergency
line.
But because you have to file a police report, and then because if you take it to the bank, try to deposit it, then you are the one who was coming in with counterfeit money. So then they had to like report it. But what tripped me out was they get him out of the car. You watch the video where even if he was high, let's say he was high, right? He was not resisting.
Right.
Then they put him in the car. Then I don't know how he got outside, but the worst part of it is when you read the police report. It just sounded just like
Nothing.
He was tripping.
he was tripping.
We were out here. We were doing our job.
We were doing our jobs.
Our lives were in danger.
He started having breathing issues. They took him to hospital and he died.
Oh, just like that.
Just like that.
That's what happened.
So now imagine all those people who have died in custody, guys. It's just one of those like
Sandra Bland.
Yes,
Right.
Sandra Bland. Yes. There was also another young man that I forgive me, I can't think of his name right now, but he was also taken into police custody. They beat him up in the car, broke his legs. And then whenever they were taking him out, like you can see in the video, like he can't walk, like his legs are limp.
Did they say he was resisting?
Yeah, yes, he was resisting.
That's always
he
the
was like
MO.
that. Like it's just
resisting arrest.
yeah.
Which in itself is kind of like a little confusing. Resisting arrest. If
Right,
you don't know
what
what
is
you're
that?
being arrested for, then
Right,
you
like
can
at
be
what
like,
point
wait, what's
can
happening?
you dispute that?
Yeah.
you can't. That's what they're
You
trying to tell
can't.
you.
Right. Because, you know, like as first responders, especially with Floyd, you know, like at one, especially when they're all three on him, and then he's like the safety, no matter, even if you're a cop, even like at that point they have the situation controlled. There's four against one person. So the fact that they put all that weight on one person, and they said they still were on him 2 minutes after, well, there had been 2 minutes after he had already lost consciousness, that they were still on him.
And they were still on his
No, you can look at the video and watch the guy. His whole weight is on his neck because his right leg is just like really limp. He's leaning on him.
And the person right there recording is like, this guy is
This guy is
dying.
not
Like
breathing.
he's dying. He's not breathing in.
Yeah, and the audacity that they had they waited to do CPR on him when he was in the ambulance. It's like, it's too late.
It's too late.
Care. Like
Yeah.
and it's crazy because it just looks the way the cop who was, and by the way, those 4 cops bombed me. They said 3 of them had been on the job. Just
2 of them
had been on the job for 4 days.
Oh.
They were taking
4 days? I thought it was 2 years.
4 days.
What, the Asian one? The one that
Asian
was
and
standing
then-
there?
Yeah.
4 days he had been on the thing.
He had been on the job.
He had just
The
gotten
guy
the
who
job.
who had his neck on him, that was like the senior.
He was
Yeah.
the senior
So
one.
they couldn't like check him. So they the guy above me was hoping to get a promotion. I did a good job at crowd control. Did you see me?
Well, he better be hoping for a plea deal and testify against.
But you know, when you go back
Yeah,
and
I'm
look at
pretty
that
sure
video,
it's
from the moment I saw that, I was like, that guy looked scared.
The
The Asian
The Asian
guy,
guy
yeah.
absolutely
He looked
looked
terrified.
like, what the fuck is
He
happening?
looked terrified.
What is going on?
He
What do
must
I
have been
do?
like, this
I'm
is
not
what
sure.
I see on the news.
On the news now, it's
like,
happening.
part of it.
Maybe.
Right there in your eyes.
Yeah, he looked really, really terrified. And
looked
that other guy
terrified.
was like, I do this every... But then you wonder, like, how many times has this guy done this?
Yeah.
Well, he's had at least 18, like...
18.
I think 18 different violations or complaints made against him prior to this George Floyd case.
That's why.
Is he angry at something? What's
And
Well,
then you find out
you know
that
his
they-
wife divorced him,
Yes.
filed for divorce,
Yeah.
like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like she was like
Good for
waiting to scared.
Yeah.
But there was like
Scared.
two sides of that. Some people are like, okay, yeah, she's, you know, like...
She just
Standing
doesn't want to
up.
be... Or she should have stood up.
Hey, these people mad.
It's also asking a lot from women.
Yeah.
Come on, nigga.
Yeah, I did see a post like that where somebody was like, oh, you know, maybe the love went with the knee or
With the
something
knee.
like that. And that really just pissed me off because it was like, first of all, this is not the time to be bringing up the way that this man died.
too.
Right.
But I don't blame her still.
Why would you
Right.
want to be
I
part
don't
of
want to be
that?
there.
Don't, yeah.
Right.
You have to
Honestly,
defend somebody who killed.
I feel like this
a killer
man,
like that.
he's angry.
Right.
So I feel like if he's handling the public like that, I can only wonder what happens at home.
At home,
Right.
yeah.
You never know that this woman was already going through a situation and she was like, oh, thank you,
This is
Jesus.
the time.
Okay, not thank you, Jesus,
Yeah.
but like, I have an opening to,
Right. To
Yeah.
get out of
you
this.
know.
But I love how everyone has come together, especially what I guess people are calling white allies to protest what's been going on, protest police brutality, protest just the systemic racism that's happening in this country. So I think that's definitely a change, especially from the time of like Trayvon Martin and all the killing.
There was always
Castile,
that.
right?
But, there was a whole section of people who kind of. Yeah, he shouldn't have died or whatever, but you know,
but he did this.
Right. It's always that, but with this one, this one was.
And I like how people are not apologetic. Like they're like, if you're stuttering, then what are you racist or what? What's going on? Like Drew Brees, I feel like that.
No, canceled. Goodbye.
But what's crazy is the NFL now came out and said,
they need to apologize
to Kaepernick and
they need to apologize.
I was thinking this. I was like, all right, so when, like, I don't know if y'all been to like soccer games or like any type of sports game.
Right.
You know, they always play the national anthem or someone singing the national anthem. Right. But at that time, that's when people use that time to go to the bathroom, go to the concession stand. So I'm like, people are that disrespecting the flag when you're like just not paying attention. Yes.
No, that's the time when like people get themselves ready.
Yes,
when they
to do the national anthem.
No.
Walk away.
When they start playing the anthem, that's when people now run to get behind you. Go, So
right.
Do people know how much we respect our national anthem? You have to stand still.
No.
Okay.
That's the time.
No, but like that whole thing about the flag was just a sham. They just didn't want to hear what he had to say.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. Because
Yeah.
when they talk about disrespecting the flag code or laws or whatever is you're not supposed to wear it, but you see bikinis.
Right.
Made out of
Yes.
You're
Look,
not supposed to
July the
fly it or
14th,
whatever.
there's swimsuits that are made out of the flag. Like
this is crazy. And what was crazy is Kaepernick did talk to like one of the army people, like one of those top guys, and he was like, "Hey, I want to do something, but I don't want it to be outrageous. I want it to be something peaceful." And the guy was like, "Okay, you can kneel during the anthem, so that you're not like straight up throwing but at the same time, it's like you're being respectful." Then everyone was just like, it was a shut up and dribble.
Yeah,
it was shut up and dribble. Like,
with Jay-Z like partnering with the NFL, I wonder if he's had a big influence in them now because people are all like, how they're selling out and
thank you.
Good job.
We see you.
But I wondered, like, full circle, did he have a major influence for Goodell, what is he, the commissioner?
Rich Goodell,
yeah, to come back and be like,
sure,
we got it wrong.
Yeah.
And now they're donating, I think, $500 million toward black projects or things like that.
Good.
And he made a video saying that, like, we were wrong about this. We should have listened. Because it's like, I feel like when all of this happened,
they really came hard on him.
And I mean, now are they going to give him his job back?
No, I think that ship sailed. But then also, like, all right, just in devil's advocate, he hasn't played in the league for a long time professionally.
It wasn't like he was a superstar.
Right.
It wasn't like he was like a person who you can. So the part about his job was kind of like, But I think an official apology he'll be all right.
I would think that would be gratifying for them to, like, I don't know if that's as far as they're going to get, but an official apology, like, for blackballing
they need to apologize to him. That was a little rough.
Out of the league.
That was a little terrible. They do need to apologize to him.
What do you guys think about how, like, the comparison between, people looting? Are they looting? Is it a riot? Are they protesting?
No, I feel like looters, you're stealing. Like, you don't go you don't go take something that you didn't pay for. You didn't earn.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not right.
I feel like
it's
that
not right.
You cannot equate that. I feel like with people that are peacefully protesting, that are I feel like it just gives people a reason to be like, oh, you see, they're one and the same, or oh, now that message that people are protesting is like less than because of the actions of some.
Yeah, because of the loading.
Yeah, like it's diluting the actual message out there.
I understand that point. I understand it. I get it. You're not supposed to take something that you didn't pay for. Yeah, I get that part. But if you're trying to inflict a message, right?
No,
the situation that happened was that people started protesting, and then it was a peaceful. People were protesting peacefully, right? Mm-hmm. Then the cops showed up and they start tear gassing people and stuff. So people get mad. People start throwing things. They start burning things. Then obviously opportunists come in. That's just what happens if you don't take care of the original problem. Then you're going to get this side of things. And like you can't say, like, even if you were there and you were protesting peacefully and all hell breaks loose, it's just hard mentality. Everyone is going to do the same thing. Everyone is just going to, like, if you're there protesting and stuff starts breaking and everyone is just throwing things.
These people need to be like Apple.
And that's how people get the message.
They're like, whatever you stop, it's
on Apple was at the end of the day, they were like, even if you, like, I understand that sentiment of, like, you're not supposed to it takes away from even taking away from the message, I don't think is right, because that's the language that some people understand. Like, if you burn something down, if you like
the message is
economic
like
havoc to them. That's how they're going to understand. Up. Yeah, then they're going to wake up.
I think a lot of these corporations did work
out. People were like, "Oh, they burnt the Target down. What did Target do?" It's like, no. Where was Target when
Target was supporting the Minneapolis Police Department. It sure was.
Target probably does support black people, so I was kind of like, I don't understand. But it was just like the corporate structure is just burning down the whole. And like some people were saying, it's maybe time for America to wake up. Like, maybe we're always doing this thing where we talk about something and we don't do it, but now maybe it's time to like burn it to the ground.
Well, people were saying
rise up like a phoenix.
People were saying that if you compare the Boston Massacre, when that happened, that wasn't a peaceful protest. Like people were destroying Blood property. Exactly. So I mean, I guess maybe it was definitely a wake up call.
Let's also not forget about
the LA riots again. So.
Black Wall Street. White people went and burnt this city down. It was called Black Wall Street in Oklahoma. It was a place like black people had gone there, built their things, living their life, and they went and burnt the entire town down.
That's a good question. Did you guys learn about that in school?
No.
You guys, are you serious?
Yeah.
They didn't teach you about Black
Wall Street? Whenever
Black history, of course, like the major, Martin Luther,
Harriet
Tubman, Rosa
But I feel like I always felt weird whenever we would get to that point when they would talk about like Black history and all that. I always felt like there was like a weird aura, especially if you were the only Black student in class.
Right.
It always felt like everybody was looking at you like,
what do you have to say?
Oh my God.
And then if it was a white teacher, or non-person of color teacher teaching, right?
Black history.
And you're the only Black student in class.
They look to you and
it's like
they're waiting for you to give your opinion.
But then like let's talk about, like Jews and all that good stuff and like the Nazis. It's just like, yes, this is what happened and this was very, very terrible that this happened to these people. You come to the chapter of slaves, it's like, oh my God,
there was a textbook in Texas that they had to recall because they called African Americans, they called them immigrants.
Yes, I remember that.
Oh yes, I remember
about,
that.
Like, different races, and then they were like, "Oh, Black people, these were immigrants that came to the United States for work," and it was like, "Hold up, hold on."
They're mad.
No, I think definitely this is definitely a movement that has. I feel like even like at work. There have been conversations in allies. I feel like that I was surprised to like what you would call white allies, like that are supporting the cause. And then I feel like it's some people, even people that are older than me, are very like they're not knowledgeable about what is going on outside of their bubble. Like the idea that someone made a comment that they didn't want to pay for implying that all Black people in America, or the majority of people on welfare, they're receiving government assistance, are Black. That she doesn't want to pay for that, or that she wasn't a slave owner, so she shouldn't have to pay for that for basically, I guess, reparations if they existed. Yeah. So it's like
there's a new awakening, really. There's everyone is kind of woken up to it.
And what it was like. Of course, I think I was the only Black person in the room, but I was not the only one calling this person out and saying, "Hey, no, what you're saying is wrong." Yeah, that there was a lot. Everyone of all different, or mostly white people, were calling out this person, saying, "No, that's not right." Like, yes, like. Systemic racism exists. There is white privilege. It's not like a figment of Black people's imagination.
Yeah.
Right.
Like at my job, my current job, our CEO, like, she took on the responsibility to call every Black employee. We are like maybe 6 of us.
Out of how many?
A big number.
400.
like 500.
But I know we are 6. But she called, like, everyone, asking, how we are handling the situation, what's going on, and she goes ahead, like, to ask what you think of the company, like, have you faced anything? And every Black person gave examples,
multiple
examples, and some are pointing to particular people in the company, and she's like, well, don't be worried, you won't lose your job and everything. And she tried to open up, like, to have a conversation so we can have, but they are not open to that. Like, to have an open conversation.
Who's not open to it?
Like other white people.
They are not because they don't want to look in the mirror.
Like an open one.
There's a way people get comfortable in having that advantage. Maybe they don't want to express it.
Or I think maybe they don't see. But what one girl at work said to me is that I when you say white privilege, like I wasn't raised with money. I was raised, like, my parents worked very hard. We were in a working class family. We didn't have money, so there's nothing monetary in her eyes that she gained as being a white person. But the point she made was, anytime I'm in a car and I'm stopped by a cop, there's no fear.
There's no fear.
That is what I think that's the misnomer.
And the
monetary, the advantage that they have. But they don't understand. We are not talking about the advantage. We're talking about the fact that we are behind. If you're at 0, we are negative.
That's what we're saying. Like, day to day, like, they will compare you to the white person. Like my previous job, I did not get up. I was promoted.
Yeah.
But then they're like, no. They instead took my position away from me and gave it to this white girl that did not even have the experience at all.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. And it was because of your accent.
Because of my accent. Yeah. The guy had the wisdom to tell me, like, I don't think you can talk to my clients. I don't think my clients will understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what
sir, I think
like that?
yes, just like that.
Told me that.
I was so furious. I was so angry, and this is the same guy that
they told you that because of your accent.
Yes. So they took my position away from me. Like, oh, actually, Sophia, we don't think my clients will understand what you're saying. I'm like, I talk to you every day,
and you can understand
every day, and you really understand what I'm saying. So what do you mean your clients will not understand what I say? They won't understand my accent. And this is the same guy, by the way, that looked me in the eye. And because I saw him to someone else, it was, a break time, and, we had different offices. So I go to her office. I'm standing by the door. No, actually, she came to my office, and we were just chit-chatting. And this guy walks by, and he goes, can you go back to your place and leave the Black help to work? That's the day I quit.
No,
are you serious?
Yes.
See,
like, she turned, she's like,
was she Black or was she white?
African American.
So both of y'all were Black.
Yes. No, she turned, and she's, a big lady. She turned, she's like, say that again. In his face. I said, leave the Black help to work.
Oh my God, oh Jesus.
Guys, I was shaking. I cried. I didn't know what to do. I got my purse. I just walked to my immediate our manager's office. I'm like, I'm quitting. Like,
that's a lot.
Like, I was shaking.
That's too much.
Like, the whole office. And then we had the other white people there. They were unbothered. Like, he says that a lot. That's
right.
I quit, went back home, filed for unemployment. That's it.
Right? You should have. What is it? Or you can
They
file.
called me back. They called me back in a week.
Yes.
Oh, they called me back in a week. I think they realized that, she actually filed for unemployment because it's going to come from them.
Right.
And they were offering me a position. I was like,
Right.
nah, thank you. I'm good. I'm like,
That's a lot.
we face...
Wait.
It's hard.
I know you have. Have you ever faced overt racism where it's like you...
But it's so funny. I feel like in my nurse brain, we take care of a lot of people that have mental issues. So, like, who knows what their
yours is special.
You give them the benefit of that doubt. You're like,
I've been called. Yes, I've been called a nigger, and and a black cunt. But that was by a black person.
Oh, okay.
But she did differentiate that I was not just a cunt like the other nurses.
you're a black cunt.
But I feel like in that situation, like I've never felt like. But I feel like there's certain times you go into, certain patients' rooms and you can see like, there's an uneasiness. This person is taking care of. And when you're nursing, like that's a very intimate position, job that you're doing. So, but no one's ever been like
in your face,
in my face, like your situation. Like I don't even know how.
This is almost.
I feel like you would be like, I would be angry and like maybe have some words. But I feel like sometimes you're so shocked. I
was in shock.
I feel like it always comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
right. It's always like,
and people are like, you should have recorded. I'm like, I was in shock.
But who do you report to?
I think he was the
he's
right,
the
that's what I'm saying.
Right, that you report that to.
Because even like other people, even that my manager, like she was angry because she's a black woman, but she couldn't do anything. She wants her job. Yeah. She's not going to be out there like
supporting you.
But she only supported. She's like, yes, file for unemployment. Call this organization. There's a
but I feel like that's like
union that
the tool of social media.
Called them back, and I was like. So that's when they called, trying to offer me a job and to create a position that wasn't even there, and a better pay. But I said no, I'm good.
That's too much.
Yeah, because no one has ever called out on him, and no one has ever walked out on him because of him being a racist. And they are so comfortable and used to that. Like, we are used to that. That's him. He doesn't talk well to people. Hello?
Tom is just crazy.
What's the equivalent of Karen? For white men, Tom. Because I feel like this is where social media is beneficial because you can blast people. Like now that he's a CEO, I don't know, but like if there is different companies he was doing business with,
there are many actually. Yeah,
Amy Cooper.
Karen Cooper, Amy.
Wait, her name was Karen?
No.
Oh,
that's what we're naming our white people that do such stupid
the lady who called
on the guy that was
her name was
Bird
Dog. She was asking her to
put that leash on the dog.
Yeah, can you imagine?
I'm scared.
The way she
my dog.
Her,
I'm like,
the way she put that
dog.
Oh my God!
Voice.
Come, hurry right now! It's right here. Just come.
Yo, I was just like she knew exactly what she was doing.
Right.
No, because even at the beginning, she was like, "I'm gonna call the cops right now and tell them an African man is after me." Then she dragged her poor dog. The poor dog was over there suffocating, but she's so worried about like getting the cops here to get this black man and her dog was dying.
Whenever like the whole, I was just watching the thing like like I've had that experience before where somebody says, "I'm going to call the cops." You know exactly what that means. Yeah. You know they're calling the cops on you, like they're sicking the. Like when you have a dog and you sick the dog on you. That's exactly what they're doing. So when she said, "I'm calling the cops," I wasn't even focused on the dog. It wasn't after when they said the shelter which she got the dog from came and picked up their dog because they were like, "You were choking the dog." Then when I watched it again, I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like she really was. Like,
she's choking.
She was pulling the dog up, and then she's focused on calling the way when she told him, "I'm going to call the cops," she backed up. She She came to him, told him, I'm going to call the cops. Then she backed up again, and then called 911. Obviously, they pick up immediately.
Yeah.
And then she started talking, and like she said, "Oh, there's this guy. I don't remember if she said African American first. I think she said there's this guy." And then she just said, "Oh my God, hurry up!"
Yes.
I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like, this chick just like really switched up on and just.
But did you guys watch Get Out? There was a scene exactly like that, where whenever the white chick went all like crazy, but she had what you see is just her face. She's just stone faced, but on the phone she's like, "Oh my God, hurry, he's coming!"
Right.
That's exactly what Karen Amy Cooper did.
Karen.
That's so good with their acting.
What's crazy is the guy's name was also Cooper.
I know
the black guy.
crazy.
They were namesakes. So it's just like, how do you not see the humanity in that? How do you not look at the other person and see a human being? You instead look at
just because they called you out on something
you put your dog on a leash.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
There was this that I saw. The guys, I think they were working out in some neighborhood. One of the characters.
Even Somalis. And the guy came and was like,
Karen.
and it's like, sir, like, who makes you the boss? Who makes you the one to like check IDs and?
It's crazy.
Yeah. There's another one I saw. Bambi, this one was like a little white girl. She was there protesting. She had her Black Lives Matter sign. And this guy, this Tom, came and started yanking the sign
in the park?
In the park.
Yes.
She was putting up Black Lives
She's
Matter
like 10 years old. And this is a grown man.
But
He like yanked
white?
it from her.
Yes.
But if you check
But thank God they found him and arrested him.
Yes.
But
Thank God,
there's a lot of people like that. Like
A lot,
I
yeah.
understand that now. There's a lot more people who I feel like the people who are now really coming out and saying stuff are those who understood that. Oh man, this ain't right. But they didn't say anything.
It right.
So now they've been like activated to say something.
Yeah.
But then there's still a whole wide
lot.
people who was because like whenever you go. Sometimes, like on Twitter, I'll like you go look up like All Lives Matter, like the hashtag. Like you find people who have thousands of like somebody will tweet something,
Right.
and you look at the likes, and it's like there's like 400,000 likes.
Yeah.
And then even if the people who are retweeting it, there's like maybe 100 retweets, and it's like even if all these people were saying no, what you're saying is fucked up. Look at the likes. There's like thousands and thousands of people who agree with that sentiment.
Yeah.
And it's like, So are we making a step forward?
I think in this case we are, for sure.
I think for sure we're making a step forward. I think it's going to take time and persistence.
Yeah.
Like we can't, this is like a 5-minute news cycle. So we can't be, we protested last week and then that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
We need to have endurance with the cause.
But we have to get back to work. I feel like the Rona is helping us because people are working from home and stuff. But then when people start going to work, like what's the
environment?
There's still petitions. There's still definitely organizations that you can like donate to that are out there fighting for the cause. And there's weekends. Okay, you can protest on the weekend.
Over the weekend,
you ain't working. But go during the day because at night things get a little crazy.
I just feel like there's a way in which maybe we're seeing the protests happen, but then how about those who are like at home who watch Fox News 24/7?
But see, I think those ones you can't help. I feel like Fox News has indoctrinated people. Like there's people like that Obama was like. Was the Antichrist and there's people that you're never really, gonna change
that,
and but I feel like those are not the majority. I feel like in my heart of hearts I feel like there's good in humanity.
Really?
So
you feel like the majority has turned the leaf. Like there are more white people who are allies to the black cause than
I think so.
All right, maybe not allies
or maybe you understand the
I do understand because I feel like it's right and wrong. It's like it's not even race, it's not even black. It's like someone is wrong. Knee is on someone's neck. I don't care if they're white, black, or purple. That is not right, and they die.
And I feel like with Trump's term, like it's been okayed, like to
to just
Just
to
be-
hate on people.
Yeah.
hate and let them know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Shout out to Yuna actually. We have to
Oh,
shout out to
yes.
Yuna. They had
A town hall.
a meeting, town hall Zoom
Yeah.
meeting thing where like people kind of came in and they talked about how Africans, Ugandans in particular, need to like be proactive in these things and really understand the racial divide
Yeah.
and racism and
Yeah.
stuff like. Because like, truth be told, there's been a lot of like when I think maybe not us who are we're first American, we're first generation.
Generation,
We're
yeah.
first generation, like the ones who came here as immigrants. We're first generation, and then our kids are what? Our kids are second generation. Or
No, I thought if
no,
you're
our
born,
kids are
I
first
thought
generation.
if you're born
So
Right.
we're
here.
immigrants.
we're
Yeah, we
immigrants.
are
and then our
immigrants.
kids are
We're
first
first
generation.
generation.
Oh, okay.
So now, like, how to address those first generation? Because for them, they grow up and then they go to school,
Yeah.
and then their kids are like their friends are going to be African
They're going to
American.
meet
Yeah.
various
Yeah.
people.
So then,
yeah.
how do we talk to them about like things like
we
that?
need to talk about
How do we-
that, you know,
yeah.
like
Yes.
raising kids
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
man, it's tough. Like, I
And
look at
also
my
shout
son,
out
I'm
to
like, how
companies
they-
that are standing with Black Lives Matter, like
Yeah.
companies,
Right.
Companies.
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like Amazon.
Shout out to you, Ben and Jerry's. We
Yes.
see you.
Yeah, no, but Ben and Jerry's
has
has been
always
Been
against it.
standing.
They're
Good job.
not- Are they owned by who?
No, it's two white
That was
guys.
Two white.
It's two white guys.
Oh,
But
what?
they've been a stand. They've
Wait,
been.
it's
Yeah.
Bazungu is just a name. It's not derogatory.
It's
Oh,
it
that's
is
a good
just the way we say
question.
Banyaga.
Uh,
It's the same way as
Bazungu
Muzungu.
really? I thought Muzungu is like a
In white,
It's like,
like
oh,
white.
like white
like a
person.
white person.
Mm,
It's derogatory. Also?
yeah,
You're lying.
yes,
Ah, really?
yeah. I would say
No.
That. But then how
No.
come they
Wait,
be calling
it's
light skinned people?
I don't
Bazungu?
no, Labayo, cause you're light skin like
Like
the white
Bazungu.
people.
What I do?
No, Samantha, just say that one is from the west. The white
No,
people, just say white, the white man and
No, Auntie,
black
but in the
man.
language, when you're speaking
Like
your language,
in-
how do you?
What's
It's a
the?
Definitely they say Muzungu.
Yeah, Muzungu.
Yeah.
I think Muzungu is more like descriptive than.
Really?
But okay,
You
but
think
like
that is-
Banyaga.
Banyaga is
Banyaga
not
is a little
descriptive.
derogatory.
It is
Ugandans,
definitely.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Ugandans need-
should work on
derogatory.
that.
I know Africans need to also look in the mirror a little bit.
Right.
Yes.
Because there's also I keep talking about that.
What?
What? Bob.
Oh, Bob Hart's Abishola.
Bishola. There was a scene in the thing where they're talking about because he was Bob is a white man and Abishola is a Nigerian nurse.
Oh, the nurse.
Right,
Oh,
and
I
she
think we watched
they're
it,
talking
yeah.
about how, and she's like, oh yeah, even the parents are real happy. Yeah, go ahead, do it. And then one of their friends is an African American, and she's like, oh, y'all date a white man, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, it's okay, because it's Africans first, and then Afro Caribbeans. And then I think she said Mexicans, and then she said white, and then African Americans. And the chick was like, "Wait, so African Americans at the very bottom?" And they're like, "Yeah, you guys don't do yourselves a favor, if you're unemployed, you're
benefits,
same
all that.
stereotype.
You get so, oh my god!"
But it was such an eye-opening scene because, like,
was,
it's
it was.
true.
It's true. Like
It's
how a
so
lot of
true
Africans
how a
think,
lot of
yes.
Africans view
Yeah,
African
because like whenever
Americans.
you were like when you came here, when we came here, I remember, like even get canceled. Like our family was not like most of families that I know were not very welcoming of the idea of having an African American in the family. It was like one of those like the way they talked about it. Like
So you're just
I
gonna-
have never.
You're just gonna bring this.
Yeah, I had never heard of
Nigga,
like
here?
an African American like being like over. It was always one of those situations where it was always like, but then they use the word like, "Nigga," and it's like, how do we switch from that?
Yeah.
to-
No, I think this has definitely made everyone look at their own implicit biases, even us as Africans,
Yes.
against African Americans,
Yes,
because we.
very true.
I mean, I'm not saying we're as bad as white people, but we have our own.
Yes.
Yeah, but we have our own discriminatory practices
Yeah.
that we
Definitely.
that we do with or that we perceive
yeah.
about African Americans.
Yeah.
True.
how do we change that?
We need a discussion.
I
about
mean,
that too. Yeah.
doing this, talking
Talk
about it,
about
and
it.
making, especially,
Acknowledge.
And then
Our
also
parents
calling out,
aware.
like if your family
Is doing
says
that,
something that,
calling
like,
them
oh
out.
no, like all black people are not like that. That's
Yeah.
like to call out, like how we expect white
Right.
people to call out
yeah,
racist Uncle Joe at
Right,
the lunch
right, yeah.
at Thanksgiving. Us as Africans, we can call out our family members that
Right.
are doing the same thing.
yeah.
What gives that impression that Africans are superior to African Americans? Like,
African
where does that
American.
even come from?
I mean,
Because
because
we feel we're smarter than them. When we come here, we hustle.
I think
We
that's
want to
it.
better our
Like,
lives. Like,
there's this whole like, there's this whole idea first that America is like the land of opportunity,
Yeah.
right? So then you're like, oh, me as an African, I've saved up my money, or I did the lottery or whatever, and I got my ticket. I scrapped everybody in the community, came and helped out, and I came here. And I worked hard and I went to school. I worked with no papers. Like I slept on somebody's floor.
Like,
and then I eventually made it.
So whenever
So
you
then
look
it's
at
like-
these ones who are complaining,
Yeah, and then it's like,
It's
but
like,
now
so like,
you've
what are you
been here.
Yeah, you're
you've
natural
been
born
here.
citizen.
What's
You're not
happening? You didn't even have to pay $600 to become a citizen. Like I've had to do all of these things. So
Right.
like, what's your excuse? I think that's where
The divide.
the divide. I mean,
Yeah.
there's also the historical divide of like us guys. We did sell our other African brothers and sisters to the Bazungu. Let's be real. And then whenever these Africans that were
Yeah.
free here went back, they also started enslaving their own
Yes.
African
Okay,
brothers. There's that.
So now,
But 2020 version, like that's.
but is
That's
it
where that
always
is.
just trying to align yourself to the power structure so that you're the one who is the closest to
Right.
the sun, so that whenever now you crabs in the bucket, you're basically whenever somebody's climbing, that you have to climb on them.
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to step on somebody's head in order for you to climb up.
that
the...
makes you sounding so bad when you say that. Like, stepping on
Because it's
someone's
true.
head and-
It's true when you think about it. Even like the Librarians who, like we talked about that last
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
The Librarians who went back
Who went
home
back.
also
Yeah.
enslaved the
Their
Africans
own.
who they met, who they went down there.
This
to
thing
see.
starts
Nah.
from us.
It starts
I guess
from
so.
way
Yeah.
back. But I feel like right now, like that divide, if you do talk to African Americans, that's the first thing that they say. They say that Africans think that they're better than black
Yeah.
people, that they're smarter than them. And I think from the African side, it comes from that, like, but I came from
I hustle.
this
Yeah.
terrible place. Okay, not terrible place, but I didn't have a lot. And I
Or you, what are you
used
complaining about?
these opportunities to get here,
Right.
Yeah.
and now I've accomplished all these things, and you already seem to have the opportunities
Right.
here.
But I think it's the colonial. Like how they talk about like how the slavery, then you go into Jim Crow segregation, then redlining, keep the African Americans in the ghetto. I feel also like with us when we had our African tradition, we had our tribes, our medicine, our medical. What are they? Not witch doctors. What are they? Herbalists. We had then. They came in, the missionaries came in and said, all this is
It's
evil.
not good. It's
So
evil.
now you put it to the side. So now you start looking at this Jewish man as your savior. And now Christianity takes over as the way in which we're supposed to do. We are praying. Our government we have God in our national anthem. So now everything is just kind of centered. We're all looking towards
We have good or not.
the Christian line of thinking, basically. So whenever we come in, whenever we think about now these people who are trying to be free and trying to do whatever they want or whatever, it's kind of it all comes from like the Western side of things, like the Western influence of the Western culture. Basically, they come in, they tell us that this is wrong. For you, what you believed was right. All our descendants, all our people who hundreds and hundreds of years. Now we are going to say, oh no, all that is evil. They all went to hell. So now all these people are going to. At the end of the day, it all comes from, I think, a propaganda mechanism. Because even the Christian part, it was just meant to make basically the indigenous
Comply.
African look bad.
Yeah.
Then when we start going into like all these movies that were coming out of into the 60s, the 70s, things about the drug war, you know, we looked at African Americans as
My goodness,
the
they're doing
criminals.
drugs.
They're doing drugs and
they're
stuff
doing
like that. And that stuff
crime.
sticks.
Yeah.
You know, you watch a movie that the criminals are African, they are black people,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So when you come here, what are you going to think? You're going to the Bazungu are the ones who, I mean, the white people are the ones who are.
Bazungu, call them Bazungu.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely.
definitely.
I feel like the media and propaganda has definitely contributed to systemic racism, and I think it's going to take time to kind of unpeel those layers.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think we should. I think the discussion will definitely continue,
Yeah.
and we should hopefully see more things. I don't know, like these people brought to justice, things improve.
But as long as we're having
Peaceful
these
protesting continue.
conversations,
I think, that's...
because I feel like now you are not going to tell your kid, you know, black people are a little weird.
Right.
No, you're going to tell them no, we're all equal. And if they ever come to you with some bullshit that they've heard from school, you're going to beat the mess out of them.
Right.
It's like, that's not right.
Yeah.
And I think like this whole thing has created a situation where everyone now has to take accountability and look
Of
in the
their
mirror
actions,
and really
yes,
understand
yes.
that, you know, also you contribute to it. Even if you're not white,
Yeah.
like that one chick, Black Lives Matter is a joke.
Oh my God.
Right.
That chick.
Like,
Yo, can you imagine?
other people are dying in DC or like
DC,
whereabouts.
she
So
And
there's
that-
black on
been?
black
And that is a
crime.
myth.
I mean,
All that people really do take care of. Like people really do protest.
and what I liked
gun
about that,
violence.
like,
People protest gangs. People are really trying to fix that situation. But it's economics. It's poverty.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
people are poor. There's going to be more crime in
Yeah.
those areas. It's just a natural cycle of things.
Yeah.
what I liked that I saw what people actually like defending Black Lives Matter when she was saying, "Oh, this is all, you know, like
joke.
BS
Yeah,
and joke."
it's a joke.
Like, why you here? Go, like, you know,
Right.
we believe
Yeah.
they matter. So why you here? If you don't feel like oppressed, or if this does not affect you,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
just go. Leave
Yeah.
us to say what we have to say. But this has been great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
guys.
thank you guys for listening to us.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely be having more dialogue on, I guess, race relations.
Yes.
And I feel like how we can improve in looking at our own biases and improve upon them, recognize them and fix them.
Improve upon
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
But I do have one more question, y'all. How do you guys feel like? Do you guys ever wonder, like, okay, now what does that mean for me? Like, if I'm ever pulled over, like, how should I act? How should
I've
I
been
be?
pulled over twice.
There's a way that there's two sides to it. Let me speak for myself as an
male.
African male.
Yeah.
When I get pulled over, I understand. I feel like I put the safest way to deal with it. Me to myself is to put myself in the cop's shoes. If the cop pulls up, he already has I assume that he has a bias.
Yeah.
So my job is to get home safe. I'm going to turn on the what do they call it? The inside light. Put down the windows and put my hands where
Your
you can
hands
see
on
them.
the steering, yeah.
Because if I resist, if I it's basically comply
Comply.
and get home safe.
Yeah.
But then I understand when people are like, well, that's fucked up. 'Cause,
I know
like,
my rights.
You're living a
Why are you
life
pulling me
of
over?
like underneath the thumb of the system.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you should fight back and all that. I'm not there
Sometimes
yet.
common sense.
I'm
like,
not
you
there
just have
yet.
to.
Yeah.
I want to get home safe.
I know the country that I'm in. I know what could happen if
Right.
I do. Yeah, I feel like I there's also there needs to be an understanding about that. Like if you're somebody who feels like you can fight back and you don't, you think losing your life is going to be worth it, then you go ahead and like wild out. But if you're somebody who like looks at this situation and you understand who you are, then you comply and you go home safe. So I don't know how to answer that in a political way where everyone is going to be happy, but at the same that's just from my point of view. Me, I want to come home safe. That's I don't care. I want to get home.
What's his name? During the UNA town hall thing they had, I had someone say, like it's better for you to comply and then talk about your rights after.
Like,
just do, put your hands where they can see them. And every time you're going to, if they ask for your ID or insurance, just verbalize the words like, I'm getting my wallet, I'm getting my ID.
Right.
Even there's some people who put the ID on the like up there.
Yeah, you're like I'm getting my wallet here instead of the guys. Because the couple be like, you're trying to get
this metallic wallet.
Yes.
Yeah. So me, whenever we drive, I put it in the top thing. So when the guy comes, I'm like, my ID is up there. You get it. Like I'm not going to move my hands. I keep my hands where.
And then you can talk about your rights.
Then I can talk about it after.
Okay.
But before,
me, I'm going to record.
You record.
The minute I get pulled over, I'm gonna go.
Can I get my phone cell and record this?
No, I'm not even. I'm just gonna go ahead and position it and then be like, I'm recording this.
Right.
But what do you say to people who say that this is sensationalized? Like this is CNN and MSNBC, like sparking
those are the same people that say all lives matter.
Right,
like,
because
guys, like this is what we're going through every day.
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you short because you mentioned all lives matter. So in Uganda, there's always this dance battle between NBS and NTV.
Yeah.
So NBS this today.
Oh God, no. What did they do? What did
their
they do?
outfits.
Jesus.
They wore black. Like I guess like a sweatshirt, and all lives matter, and white gloves on, and then NTV did the knee, so people are going off on NBS. Like you do not understand.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, like you do not understand what all lives matter right now
means.
What it means.
You don't know what it means right now. Like that is.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh my God.
and people were like, their neighbors got it right because for them they did the knee.
Yep, it sounds like it.
I was like,
read the room and be
really
yeah. Crazy.
All right.
So you'll need to go check it out.
Yeah, we'll definitely check that out.
This was good, guys.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Richo, for joining. You need to come again.
I'll be coming back.
Yes.
Yeah. Come back again and let us know what you think. But anyways, that's our show, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Tuning in because we're recording. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Be like Lambert. Bye.
Lambo.
Peter was dying. Time out.